Record to clouds. And here we go. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This meeting of online presenters has now begun. Guests, please know that in order to be a member of our club, you must be a current or a former member of Toastmasters International and have completed at least 6 speeches from either the traditional or pathways programs. Or you must have substantial relevant presentation experience that you demonstrate in 3 to 5 minute speech delivery during one of our club meetings. All requests for membership are subject to board approval. If you have not already done so, please change your panel to ensure it shows your name and role if you have one. Right-click and select Rename to do so. We have members and often guests from many countries throughout the world. Thus, other professional organizations, we ask that you please be aware of language or word usage that may be considered offensive or otherwise insensitive due to cultural differences. Please note that we will be recording this meeting. Your video audio contribution may be used for club marketing purposes. Please mute your microphone when you are not speaking. Also, please avoid using chat during speakers' presentations. And today we have a very special evening, and the theme for the evening, a day at the Improv. Please welcome our club president, DTM, Mr. Nick Lahani.
Thank you very much, Andre. Thank you. Welcome to Online Presenters. We have a show for you today. One very quick announcement. Those of you who are members, look in the chat. Make sure you've renewed. We have about another 10 or 15 to go. Otherwise, we are up to nearly 50 that have renewed, I believe. One of the things that we want to look for today is participation. Don't sit back and enjoy the show. Take part in it. You learn more. And with that, I'd love to welcome our hostess with the mostest, the most wonderful IPP you would ever love to have and to ever love to meet. Please welcome my immediate past president and my very good friend, Lois Margolin.
Well, welcome everybody. I hope you are ready for a day at the Improv. Christian has diligently been taking names for everyone. And there you go. He has listed the names there. Is that the order, Christian? You're only going to send me the order, but this is the list of the people that are going to be participating. If your name is on that list and you wish not to participate, please let Christian know. Otherwise, he's going to take all those names, shuffle it up. You will not know where your name falls in that. And our Zoom master, which is our El Presidente, Nick, and I are the only ones that know the order of the speakers. What's going to happen is the following. We are going to have a day at the Improv. I'm going to pick 2, 3, 4 people, depending on the scenario. Nick will spotlight those individuals, and he knows who's coming up because we're both going to have that list. Once we get that spotlight, what's going to happen is you're going to be given a scene. So how do you do a day at the Improv? In case you've never done it before, the one thing you don't want to do is cut the scene short by saying, no. Would you like to go to the dog races? No. Well, the scene's pretty much over at that point. So keep it going, keep everything alive. That's one thing you want to do. You want to add new information. You want to be funny. This is your opportunity. Have fun with it. Avoid asking questions that can also shut it down. Play in the moment. Have fun with it. Be creative. And one of the things I'm going to do, if you ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway, as I hear somebody starting to slow down, I'm going to say switch. The timing is as follows. If we have 2 people, most likely we'll have 2 minutes. If we have 3 people, we'll have 3 minutes. However, if your scene just kind of shuts down, we'll close it off, not a problem. So if you only have 50 seconds, don't worry about it. Our timer is Elizon. Elizon. Flash your timing light so people can see you. Make sure you know where Elizon is. She is going to be showing the green light depending on when your time is, and then all of a sudden it's just going to go red, and you'll know, just wrap it up at that point, or our Zoom master is going to mute you. The other thing that's going to happen is that after each scene, we will take 1 minute of evaluation. And the evaluation isn't, oh, I really liked how they did. No, the evaluation is, where was the change in the scene? Where did they shut it down? Where did they spice it up? And just gonna go real fast because it's 1 minute. We hope to get 2 or 3 ideas in there. And at 1 minute, we're on to the next scene. So we're going to show you how this works. And Christian, do you have all the names in there yet?
I have. Madam Improv Master, I'm sending it to you right now in a few seconds.
Awesome. Are you sending it through WhatsApp? We didn't come up with that one. WhatsApp?
Through Zoom and WhatsApp.
Got it. Thank you so very much. So we are going to have a little bit of taste of how this is going to work. We have recruited. Christian, do you want me to recruit someone else since you're working on that?
I'm good.
Okay, so Christian and Nick are going to do our very first scene. Here it is. Elizon, are you ready? Nick, you have to highlight you and
I'm ready.
Christian. There we go. Nick, you are an exterminator who is deathly afraid of bugs. Christian, you have a restaurant and called Nick out to take care of your bug problem. Have fun.
Hi, my name's Nick. I'm the bug man. What can I do for you today?
I don't need to know your name. I need you to go and clean the bugs. Go. Go.
Well,
Just go.
hang on. Let's talk about this first. So can you just give me an idea of what the problem is, what kind of bugs there are, what instances there are, and also where are the written records?
Are you effing kidding me? They are effing bugs. Big effing bugs.
I'm sorry, hang
Small
on.
effing
I've come
bugs.
across lots of bugs. I've come across cockroaches. I've come across beehives. I've never come across effing bugs. I've never heard of them. Hang on, let me Google
This is a size 43 bug. Do you want it somewhere in your body?
What?
Go and clean the bug, man. Come on. I'm losing business here.
Now listen, I need to plan this out. I'm not just a bug man.
Are you
I'm
serious?
an expert. I'm a professional. I'm a consultant. And what I have to do first
kill bugs?
is to do
How
a
professional
scoping
can it
call
be?
with you. Listen, this is the way I work, mate. You don't like it? Get somebody else.
Okay, so quick evaluation. Where did it turn one way or the other? Anybody want to pipe up? Just unmute and say something. If not, I will.
When Christian told him to clean the bugs.
When Christian called him to clean the bugs, that definitely made a change. So one thing you want to do when you are doing this, kind of keep in mind, you want one person to keep talking until we tell you to switch. So we don't want interruptions because on Zoom, you really can't handle interruptions. So let's just keep it going with one person and then we will switch to the other. So from that point, I am going to go ahead and open up the list right now that we just got. And we are going to have 2 individuals. This will be, let me get my list. Hold on one sec. Andre and Birgit. Here we go. Let's put them up there. Now remember, you want to keep talking until we say switch. And we're looking for Birgit. There she is. Here is yours. Birgit, you are a teenager learning to drive a stick shift or a manual transmission. Andre, you are a very nervous person and you have to teach Birgit how to do this. Birgit, you get to start. Let's play.
All right, this is so cool. I can't wait to actually do this. So from what I know from automatic, it can't be that different, right? So basically I just shift. What's that noise? I just shift, right? And then I go,
Right.
that's the right.
Well, you just, this little thing here, take it, switch it gently, please. Just make sure you follow the instructions. A, B, C.
Switch.
Okay, so, all right, so I grab this thing here and then I start to shift. All right, I got that, but I mean, it's not going anywhere. I mean, I'm still on the brake. Is that right? So maybe I should be on the gas. Instead of on the brake, I should be on the gas.
And then before you do anything, you can put the key into the switch and turn it on. I'm sure you can do it. I feel positive vibe. I'm a little bit nervous.
Okay, so this is not one of these like electric cars. Okay, shoot. All right. I'm gonna put this in here and I'm gonna start the engine. And there are two pedals here for the brakes. So I've got an accelerator and two brake pedals. Okay, which is the right brake? The left one or the right one?
And the radio. This is the radio. You need to make sure you switch the channels.
Okay, let's give them a round of applause. You had Graham going there. So Graham, what did you think?
Helps if I turn the microphone. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting that they were talking at two completely different things here. I would have liked if Bridget had started the engine, and of course, if it was in gear, which it would be, the car would have gone boom, 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 and done what we call kangaroo jumping to start, which might have made fun. But I think the problem was that they were talking at two completely different things, and it was difficult for a conversation to take place.
There you go. All right, and anybody else want to have a comment about what they saw? One more comment real quick. Rick Durling, what'd you think?
Well, I thought it was interesting. I thought there was lots of opportunity to mess around. I think switching to the radio was a really good thing to just have a non sequitur all of a sudden inserted into it. So I like that kind of improv where you change directions and the other person has to react.
There you go. Okay, let's go ahead and have Jeanette and Carl. All right, so Jeanette, you are selling your car, except here's the deal. The car is a clunker and you are asking way too much money. And let's see, you are with Carl. Carl, you are the unsuspecting buyer. Let's have some fun. You're muted, Jeanette.
Yes, I made an ad to the telepersonals. I don't know if it's telepersonals or on Meetup or on Facebook.
Well,
for my
actually, Jeanette, now that I see the car, I'm beginning to take it a little personal. So that's probably it. Really? This much money for this? How do you explain that?
Well, because it's a car. This car belongs to my grandmother, and it has a very personal value to me. And and I love my grandmother, so I think that the car is worth the money. And if you have a grandmother yourself, would like to have a car being passed down from one grandmother to another grandmother, that would be a very interesting buy that you could.
How many miles has it driven already?
Oh, it's only like 10,000 miles. That's all.
Okay, how many feet do you expect it to drive in the future?
Well, I think that it can be driven for at least another 10 years.
Another 10 years, very slowly, I suppose. Now, this is not for my grandmother. My grandmother is gone. I think this car is too.
No, the car is not gone. Actually did some painting to the car. I renovated it, and there was
renovated. Okay.
Yeah, I renovated it. Yes.
All right.
And after the renovation.
Let's give it up. What did we think? Where was the switch? Michael Alexander, I see your microphone's off. What'd you think?
I thought it was interesting. I watched Carl as an unsuspecting. Carl started off by not at all being unsuspecting. He was like absolutely pulling the complaints in, and with a great deal of difficult wit. And poor Jeanette looked appropriately a little overwhelmed as she kept trying to come up with something.
All
Balanced
righty.
well.
And I have to agree with Graham. I thought it was really cute when he said, how many feet do you think it will go? I did think that was pretty funny. Okay, so this one is for 3 people. We are going to have a guest, Sharon Maloney, Deborah Carr, and BDC. All right, let's get all 3 of them together. And here's the deal. You are selling your house and one of you doesn't want to move. So it's the conversation of, should we move? And if we shouldn't, why not? So I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to figure out who's what character. So you can talk amongst yourself before you start the scene.
Okay. I don't see the other 2 yet. There. How's it going, Sharon?
And you're also getting Deborah Carr in here.
Let's get Deb in here.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, because for some reason I'm having a lot of trouble with audio here. So, and I missed what we're doing, and I'm sorry. I put a note in the mail.
We have to sell a house, not to mansplain, but we have to sell a house, and we have to decide if we want to move or not.
And one of you does not want to move. So you have to figure out who doesn't want to move and who does and what your characters are. So we're giving you a couple of seconds to figure it out because there's 3 of you.
I'll be the person who doesn't want to move.
And who's the
Sharon,
salesperson?
you're
And
muted.
Sharon needs to unmic.
Yeah.
The 3 of us own a house and
Great. Okay.
we want to sell, except one of us doesn't want to sell.
I don't want to sell. It's a great house. I don't know what you're talking about.
Convince them. All right, ready?
Who
Let's
starts
go.
the conversation, and when do we handle the switch?
The switch can be natural, or if I see it slowing down, I'll ask you to switch.
Okay, no problem. I don't think we need to sell the house. I mean, right now, the market, this is not the right time to sell in the market to begin with. I mean, we got coronavirus.
Then when's the right time?
When you
You know,
both
if this
die and I
isn't-
can sell the house for myself. I mean, that's
But
ultimately
it belongs to all of us. We all got to sign. What
Are you
thinking
crazy?
here?
Are you
Thinking
crazy?
yes.
Yeah, we all have to agree to this. You can't just force me into a situation where I'm going to sell off this asset.
Yeah, but right here, right now in Grand Rapids, and where we're at, it's 11 to 25 buyers per house. They're paying an extra 30 to 50,000 overpriced. This is the time to go because you didn't want to live here in the first place.
This is not the time to go. I mean, what you're talking about. I mean, think of all the restrictions we're going to have to sell a house. We're going to have to make sure the house gets cleaned every time people come through. I mean, I haven't got my COVID shot
You
yet.
want to clean it when you're not selling it?
Well,
You
no,
got to clean it whether you sell, whether you don't. What are you talking?
You have to clean it all the time, but it's a different level of cleanliness. I mean,
But
clearly.
did you see the new house that we looked at?
I did
It
not
has
like
a
the house.
huge man cave in the basement.
Why do I have
Plus-
to be in a cave? Why are
plus
you
the
forcing the men into caves?
Plus
Why
the
can't it be a
shed-
female
plus the
cave?
shed.
I think you're
You know,
being
we've got
wrong
a sheet
for
fed
gendering
plus
the
a-
cave
plus a
in the
man
basement.
cave. It is so cool. I mean,
It's not cool.
The audio
You
down
tell
It
him,
has
Debbie,
no
if that's
hot
where
tub.
he belongs, that's
I
where he
need a hot
goes.
tub. I like to be able to
Still gets
sit
We'll
and get
get
the
you a hot tub.
whirlpools.
You move, we get you a hot tub. No
I don't
problem.
know. I don't know. I mean, hot tubs are rare. This is Michigan, after all. It's not exactly a climate to have a hot tub. If you
Oh,
ask
it's the
me.
best place because you sit out there bubbling away and all that snow comes down on you. It is fantastic.
No, but I'm
Plus,
not
if you get
talking
cold,
about
you
the
go to
cold.
man cave.
I'm not talking about the cold. I'm talking about the fact we're in Michigan. I mean,
Wait,
if
wait,
I
wait.
want to move somewhere, we want to
You
move somewhere
said the
that's
cold.
nice.
We didn't say the cold. You said the cold.
No, I said this isn't the right environment for a hot tub. You immediately thought that means it's cold. There's many reasons.
Well,
we
then,
want a
okay.
hot
What
tub.
did you mean then? What did
I
you
would,
mean?
I would like to be on an Atlantic coast. I mean, if we're gonna move, which I don't want to do, I want Bar Harbor. I want Bar
No.
Harbor.
Okay, we'll go.
No, you know, I'm going for
I want to be able
Michigan
to sit
Ocean.
there, eat some lobster in my hot tub while we have clam chowder. I mean, this feels like what we should be aiming for. Why
We
are
have
we
white
settling on
stew.
Michigan? No one
All
settles
right,
on
let's
Michigan.
give them a
Wait,
round
wait.
of applause. Great job. So I was thinking on this one, ladies, we can't move. There's a body in the basement, and just kind of take it off from there. So you can go as crazy as you want on these things. Okay, so the next one is 2, and this is Graham and Andy.
Would we like some feedback?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Let's get some feedback on that one. What'd you guys like? Lou.
When you two die. That's what it sounds.
That was funny. Andrew?
Yeah, I think about to me, one of the interesting switches was when BDC mentioned about hot tub, and then that for some reason women have that idea about men's cave in the basement. That's wrong. I totally sympathize with that. Even though it's International Women's Day, that ladies could start, look, it's our day today, so we're moving. We are moving today. And they just spoil it. They just gave it away to BDC. That was funny.
They did a great job. Birgit, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I actually loved how it came across so natural because nobody waited for anybody else to finish. So everybody was talking on top of each other, which is so not Toastmasters, but it's so real life. And I really love that.
They were so quick-witted and so boom, 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 boom. So kudos to you guys. You did a fabulous, fabulous job. Okay, Graham and Andy. All right, Graham, you are a wine connoisseur and you are tasting the worst wine imaginable. And Andy is with you and thinks it's the best and is trying to get you to go in with him so you can buy a couple of cases of this. Now remember, you can't say the word no. And let's have fun.
Oh. Okay, Graham, what do you think of that wine?
It's interesting. I'm not sure that this is quite the style that I'm used to. I mean, I suspect that in Florida, your wine is a little different to the wines that we have in Australia. It's certainly different. Yes.
Well, I've purchased wines from Australia and they taste great. However, they're not in the top international gold medals. The gold medals are from Napa and California. And the one thing I can say about the wine that you've just tasted is it's not ready yet. You need to have that wine fermented in the bottles. But the good news is if you buy it now and put it away, you can make a fortune.
I'm not entirely sure that a Zinfandel that tastes like dead socks is going to turn into a top selling wine. I mean, you may be right, but I'd be much more interested in buying, say, a Penfolds Grange or something that I know is going to have value, because this is an acquired taste, and I'm not sure how many people are ever going to acquire it, Andy. I mean, I respect you and all that, but yeah.
Well, one of the things you have to really notice when you look at that wine is look at the label. And the label is called the Ugly Duckling, because if you remember that story, it starts out as an ugly duckling and turns into a swan.
Yeah, that's possible. That's possible. But I have to tell you, this tastes more like a signet ring than a signet swan. I'm just not sure that it's ever gonna make it. I'm sorry, Andy. I'm sorry.
All righty, let's give them a round of applause. What did you guys think? Let's see some of you unmute. I'm looking. Who's gonna say something? Go ahead, Dr. Michael.
I've got to admit, although normally we worry about dialogues with respect to improv, the look on Graham's face throughout all of it was just absolutely priceless.
I have to agree with you. You did a great job with facial expressions. What else? BDC.
So maybe it's just Graham's accent, but there was a documentary I saw last year about a guy who collects junk. And at one point he found a bottle of wine on the side of the road and he just drank this bottle, and he's an Australian, and just I pictured this idea that he's drinking junk wine when he was like spitting it out. That's where my mind went. So good job with that.
Very good job. Okay, our next two, Rick Durling and Lou Brown. So, Lou, Rick is your in-law, and you have to fire him. But keep the peace, because you still have to go home to the little lady. Have fun.
Rick, do you have a minute? Could you please come into my office, sir?
Absolutely.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I really am looking for this promotion that you are just about to give me.
Oh,
I have
yes.
been expecting it forever. Man, this is going to be great. I'm going to be your co-owner. This is awesome. I can't.
Oh, Rick, slow down.
What this
So
is
many
gonna
great
be.
ideas you have. Please allow me to share, though. I have something even better than a promotion. Way
I don't
better.
know how it could be any
I
better.
have
I
this-
have ideas that I can put forth for this business that will take us to the stars.
But allow me to share. First, we're going to move your office to this premium location. It's
You're
in the
gonna move me out
basement,
of the
but it
outhouse?
helps you to have a more quiet
Wow,
atmosphere.
I get a room without having to have people knocking on the door and asking.
Privacy. Lots of and I do
Wow,
have
this
to
is gonna
take
be
your
cool.
stapler. I'm sorry, only because you won't need it anymore.
gonna share a
You're going to be in a
stapler?
leadership position.
Wow,
Yes,
that's really
you're
cool.
going to be able to make so many wonderful decisions. You just go through me.
Well, I
You
think
don't
as
have
long
to
as we can
talk to
we
anyone
can
else.
come to an agreement, this is going to
Yes.
work out great.
Oh, I just have so many wonderful
So we're going
ideas
to
and so
have an
many
office
plans.
with 2 desks in it.
Yeah, no
Cool.
stapler. Remember, no stapler.
No stapler.
And we
that's
do have
fine,
to
guys.
get
Last
that.
time I stapled my tie to the door, it was really embarrassing.
And you'll be able to work on the TP report all day because that is the
Wow.
one report that runs the entire company. It is an extremely valuable report. So, Rick, I'm really leaving this in your capable hands.
Wow, this is going to be
TP
really
report.
great.
Yes. And again,
All right.
because it's already glued together, you don't even need a stapler.
So let's talk
And as a
about
matter
my
of fact,
salary.
you
I
don't
think
even
that
need to
I'm worth
punch a
at
time
least
card.
twice what
All
your
right,
salary is.
let's give it up for them. There's a lot of laughter going on in this room right now. Andre, you were just hysterical. What did you like about this?
Well, I just really like when 2 participants, they just didn't listen to each other. They knew exactly what was going to happen in a way. They already made their mind up. And Lou trying to convince, and the facial expressions on Lou's face, and just going for it. And it's just really, really enjoyable moment to watch. Well, thank you. Really, really brilliant job. I really, really enjoy that.
Okay, who else is unmuting? Carl, you look like you're unmuted. Go for it.
Well, first of all, I have a question for Lou. Is that a red swing line stapler that you were talking about there?
It is the exact same one that was in that movie.
Yeah. I think I've worked for Lou before, actually, but it was, what was really interesting about this is both guys were optimistic. Both of them were trying to make everything look good, and they were at totally opposite standpoints. Nicely done.
All righty, let's give it up. So our next two is Sarah Eiden and Dr. Michael Alexander. So you are a couple and you are convinced that your next door neighbors are Russian spies. And one of you wants to go and look through their windows to see what you can figure out. And the other, not so much. Let's play.
I think if I tiptoe and if I don't make too much noise, I think I could just kind of peep under the bushes because, they're just strange over there. And I think we're in danger. You can't trust the Russians. So I think I'm going to go over there.
Honey, I love you. And I know that you were really excited to take that course from Berlitz in Russian languages. So I know that you really want to listen in and see if you can find out something. But first of all, I don't think they taught you a lot of spy words at Berlitz. And, well, frankly, I hear all the stuff about moving and not moving from them. And it's supposed to be a couple, but there are like 3 of them, and one of them talked about hiding stuff in a man cave. I just don't think this is something we want to get involved in.
I think all I need is some black paint on my face. And then I would be very unnoticeable. And plus I was under the window and I would tiptoe and slip in, and I think we can find out because we're just not safe here.
Honey, do you know how much trouble we get in if they catch one of us in blackface? I mean, this is just, you're putting us terrible social risk. I really think we don't want to get involved here.
Oh, very, very good. Okay, let's see who's going to unmute on this one. Carl, go for it.
Love the way Sarah handed Michael a lit stick of dynamite there. Well done. Well countered, Michael. Excellent.
Good job. What else? Who else wants to say something?
The
Jeanette.
callback to the, I was going to say the callback to the trio selling the house, I thought was just gorgeous.
Yes, the man cave. That was very well done. Jeanette.
Yes, I like the idea of the black face, you know, that Sarah talked about. It put Dr. Michael Alexander in a very weird situation. So
I like how, Sarah, you were not even just peeking in the window. Now you were slipping in the house. Forget peeking in anymore. Great job. Let's give them a round of applause. Next one is Elizon and Roxanne. Christian, can you be our timer for Elizon?
Sure thing.
All right, and we have Roxanne. So here we go. Roxanne, you are a hypochondriac in the waiting room of a doctor's office. And Elizon, you have to convince Roxanne to stay and wait for the doctor who is already late.
Okay.
Let's play.
I've got to see him now. I've got the Humaguda. It's the Humaguda. I checked it. I watch House, so you can't put anything over on me.
Roxanne, I understand that you need to see the doctor right now, but he's almost on his way. If you can just wait 2 minutes, the Humaguda will be all taken care of. Can you just wait 2 minutes?
Do you understand how critical the Humaguda is?
Yes,
I need to see a doctor now. If he's not here, I've got to go to another office.
I understand, but the Humaguma will be fine if you just wait a few more minutes. The doctor will be here shortly, and the Humaguma will be taken care of right away. You gotta wait. This is the only doctor who can take care of that Humaguma. Don't you understand that?
Did you say that he can take care of the Humaguda?
Yes, he can take care of
I
the
have been
Humaguma.
having a hard time finding a specialist for that one.
He is a Humaguma specialist. He has been curing Humaguma from the time he was 5 years old. He's an expert at this thing. He's an expert of Humagumas. He knows where to find the Humagumas, and he knows exactly what to tell the Humagumas so that they will stop acting up, and you will be fine. Just wait a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes. He'll be here. He'll be here.
The Humaguda hasn't been around that long.
You
Since he
don't
was
know.
5.
Yes, but you don't know. He knows the Humaguma personally. He has known the Humaguma, I said, since he was 5 years old. He knows Humaguma personally.
All right, let's give it up for them. The Humaguma. Okay, Roxanne, how did you come up with that name? Okay, who wants to say something about this skit? Dr. Michael.
I loved the way that Elisa picked up on the Humaguma nonsense. Even though she talked about it like it wasn't a disease, it was people. And Roxanne was so caught up in what she'd seen on House that it didn't even dawn on her that she was being taken advantage of. It was great.
All right, who else wants to say something about that one?
I just love the name of the disease. That just took me off. I mean, that started the whole thing. That was a great disease, and apparently a person who can be handled.
There you go. Okay, let's give it up for them. Our next group is Marty and Marianne. Okay, are you ready? Marty, you ready? Can't hear you, Marty. Can you say something?
Oh, I'm ready. Can you
Okay,
hear
here
me
we
now?
go. So, Marty, you have just come home and Marianne has redecorated the entire place, and all of your prized trophies and everything you ever loved are no longer in the room. Now remember, you got to be nice and you can't say the word no. And you've just walked in the door, and Marianne is so excited about how beautiful the room is. Let's play.
Marty, what do you think?
Yeah.
This all day long. I love it. How about you?
I'm a little confused. I mean, you look like my wife. You look like the lady I love. But I look around. I don't recognize this room. Is this really our room? What?
I
Haven't I missed something?
know you love your trophies, and I know you love some of those other little monuments that you have in the house, but you really didn't match the style I was aiming at this time. So I put them in the basement and made you a little man cave.
What? Look, you made me a little man cave in the basement. You know what that does? It tells me where I belong, way down, out of sight. Is that what you really wanted me to do?
No, I want you to have a
Hide,
private
disappear?
space, a place that you could call your own that, I won't even touch it, I promise.
But, where am I? Okay, you say I have a place. You know what happens if I try to walk down those stairs? I'll fall down them. You know me.
Don't worry, I paid your insurance.
Oh,
With that one, let's give it up for them. What did you guys think of that one?
Frankly, it hit a little too close to home.
All right, who else wants to say something? Sharon, you want to say something about that one?
Just one, very true. Reminded me of my friend who her husband would get very upset when she rearranged the furniture because he was blind. And it created quite a hazard.
That it would do. Lou, I saw you on mute.
I just thought they really played well off each other. And I will say, I mean, with this experience in total, I'm really seeing personalities come out with all of our players. And Marty, I just love the way you just came out and really owned that. And Marianne as well. Excellent job.
I agree. I'm seeing a whole new scene here. All righty, let's go to our next two, Pamela and Jim Barber.
Madam Improv Master, Pamela is not in the room.
Pamela is not here. Okay. So we've got Jim
That makes
Barber.
it easy.
Pardon?
That makes it easy.
Okay, so Jim and Emily.
I think Emily said that she wasn't.
I'll give it a try. I'm grading papers, but I can stop grading. I would love to play with Jim Barber at Improv.
Okay. All right, here is your scene. Emily, you are a police officer and you have pulled Jim over. Jim accidentally, not knowingly, took a couple of Colorado gummy worms. Let's play.
What's the problem, officer?
Could I see some identification, please? Preferably legal identification.
My identification or yours?
Your identification, sir.
Oh, let me see what I can find here. Oh, that would probably be in my. I can't find my wallet. Yeah, I found. George Washington. No, that's a dollar bill. Could I get back to you on that?
I see.
I am who I am. I verify for that.
And sir, could you explain the 2,400 cases of gummy worms that are behind your front seat there?
Well, sure. It was 2,500 to start with, but I had 100 of them.
That might explain the driving. What precisely is in those gummy worms, sir? Are those Martha Stewart style gummy worms?
That would depend on who Martha Stewart is. Is
Sir,
she a police officer?
Not currently. She's had some experience in corrections, however.
I should say, I don't mind you asking about the gummy worms, but please don't ask about the body that's in the cellar.
I see. Well, right now we're just looking at your car with the large number of boxes. I wonder if you would unload them for me so I can inspect them.
I respect the police officers. I respect police force. I respect women. So I respect you in more ways than you can possibly imagine. What was the question?
What is in this box that is bigger than it? It must have very large gummy worms in here.
It is not a body.
On that one, let's give them a round of applause. Who would like to comment on that one? Andre, you got to say something because you are just hysterical. I love watching you.
But something that I really liked, both participants did an amazing job. They kept on going from different angles. And what Jim did, he played with the body. He introduced that hook into the story. Yes, there is the elephant in the room. And then he came back to it in the end. Something that I enjoy and I took for myself. Well, brilliant job from both of them. Funny, really funny.
All right, Emily, we're so glad you're not grading papers right now. Let's see, anybody else want to make a comment about this one? One more person, and Dr. Michael.
I will admit this was just a callback. I couldn't resist. When he was looking for identification, I wanted to pull out a recently graded paper with his name on it.
Ah, I didn't think of that. Yep.
Okay, here we go. So I have a guest, Manjit. Is Manjit willing to play? Maybe not. Okay. Yes? No?
No, for today not. Next time I will participate.
Okay, so we have Angela and Elaine. All right, so you two were in the woods and you found $2 million in a suitcase. And one of you wants to turn it into the police and the other wants to keep it. Let's play.
Oh my gosh, this is real money. Elaine, we're rich. We're rich.
Fast, not so fast. I mean, you know what? Actually, we are really rich. I didn't tell you I won the lottery ticket last week.
Oh, well, okay, cool. So you keep the lottery and I'm going to keep these bags because this looks like these are $100 bills, Elaine. This could be like $1 million.
I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. You can do that if you want to do that, but no way, Jose. But I probably got more than in that suitcase because it was the $80 million winner. And
I'm fine with
that's
that.
why I
Okay.
need to just walk out into the woods. So, yeah, great. You go ahead,
Yeah,
hon.
okay.
Go ahead and do that because I
Let's
wouldn't
just
want to get
agree.
in trouble that way. No,
You
no.
take the lottery and you go home. And I'm going to take these bags and I'm going to my house. And then that way we're both happy. We're both happy. And I don't gamble. So I don't want any of that gamble money.
Win. But you know what? I think I'm going to plan my around the world trip right away. So Hey, hon, it's been fun, but I'm going to be gone soon.
Okay. Oh, this is so exciting. I never found any money before.
All right, let's give it up. What did we think? Let's see. Roxanne, we haven't heard from you.
Have you not? I enjoyed it.
They did a good job.
They kept it. They kept playing off of each other.
Did a very good job playing off of each other. Sarah, what did you think?
Well, I thought they were believable. One was excited about money, the money, and the other one didn't want any of that kind of money, you know, gambling money. So I thought that went well.
Okay. So Nick, we're going to ask you, did we have more than 10 teams?
Sorry?
Did we have more than 10 teams? That we do
We
a poll with
current-
a playoff?
Yeah, no, we currently have 11.
11. Well, we're going to go ahead. Christian, you want to reshuffle them? We'll do another 2 or 3, and then Nick can set up his polls for our winners.
Sure thing. Please give me 30 seconds.
All right. I have a fun one ready to go. So I have to say I am in total agreement. I forget who said it. I think it was Lou. I'm seeing a whole bunch of new personalities here. This is so much fun. All right. And we have round 2. Here we go. This one is going to be BDC and Graham. BDC and Graham.
Uh-oh.
Let's get them up here. I'm going to get BDC up, spotlight, and where is Graham? There we go. So here it is. One of you is claustrophobic and you are stuck in an elevator. Let's play.
Hello. Is that the support line for the elevator people? Please, hello.
Yes. Have you tried turning it off and on again?
The problem is that I'm in this elevator and the doors are all closed and
Yes, that's the
lights
purpose
are
of an elevator. The doors remain closed. That is correct, sir.
Look, yes, but the lights are off and I could see enough to find the phone, but
that means the phone is operating correctly, sir. If the lights are off, the phone is operating correctly, sir.
Good.
That is your problem.
So, but I mean, there are some ups and downs with the problem that I'm facing here, and one of them is
the elevator goes up and it goes down. Yes, that is what an elevator does.
I'm
not
starting
an
to find
escalator, sir. This is not one of those things in an airport that moves you from point A to point B. This is an elevator, sir. Yes.
They're called a travelator, and if you work with elevators, you should know that that's called a travelator. But that's beside the point.
That's a moving walkway, sir. I do not know what country you're talking from, but I assure you that's a moving walkway.
Well. Anyway, doesn't really matter. What I want to know is how am I going to get out of this?
You press a button, sir. You press a button.
No.
And the
I've
elevator
tried all
will
the
move.
buttons. I've tried all the buttons, including the
try
button.
them all a second time.
All right, I'll try the button a second time.
Have you tried unplugging and plugging back in your elevator?
Look, that's what I pay you people for.
No, sir, I'm just desktop support here. I cannot help you. You can only help yourself. Do you need me to call like a specialist? I can get my manager on the phone. Hold on, 1 second.
Please escalate this call. That's a good way of doing it.
Hello, have you tried turning on and off the elevator?
Let's give them a round of applause. Very fun. Okay, loved it. Okay, let's see who we've got here. We've got Lou Brown and trying to find my order here. And Andre. Lou and Andre, here we go.
Lois, no feedback?
Yeah.
Okay, spotlight, and we need
Lois?
Yes.
No feedback for the last one?
Oh, I'm sorry. You're absolutely right. Let's get some feedback. I was laughing so hard. What did you all think about Graham and BDC? Jim Barber.
I loved the way that Graham was sputtering and stuttering.
I like the reboot the elevator.
That's something you'd see in a comedy movie.
Yes.
The dialogue, perfect.
And
I liked escalating this to the management. Escalating, spot on.
And I do want to apologize, by the way, to Carl. I wasn't making fun of stuttering. I was trying to get the panic in the voice. And then I realized that probably sounds like I was sending up stuttering. I wasn't. I genuinely wasn't. I do apologize if it came across that way.
Okay, let's keep going then. Nick, let me know. I'm going to do one more and then we'll do the vote and we'll do a playoff. Sound good? All right, one more. I think I had Lou and Jim, right? Was that who I said? Or was it Andre? Lou and who was the other one?
I think it was Andre.
Andre. Okay, where's Andre? Let me find him. Andre, wave your hands. There you are, right at the top. So here it is. Look, I know you hate this, but we need at least one good photo of you. Let's play.
I really would prefer that you don't take my picture. I don't really have a good side. I don't really have, frankly, any side. I've been told that you're just sideless. So would it be possible?
Would it be possible to take 2 photos of you? Exactly. Look at your amazing face.
2 is too many. I think
One.
we can just
Then
get
let's go
by.
for 1. It's a deal, isn't it?
Let's do a podcast. See, if we do that instead, we don't need any pictures. I can just read from a script. People just listen to me. No pictures needed. See, there we go. Problem solved.
At the same time, they will miss that amazing face, the masculine features, and all the eyes and contact.
I have a book of all of these.
I
have a book of all of these wonderful pictures and backgrounds and memes and GIFs. I think we can use those. We don't even need people don't even want to see people's faces. They actually want to see comical photos and maybe pictures of nature. Nature?
But they're gonna take a picture straight away, right now. So it's already here.
But it blinds me. See, I have to close my eyes, and nobody likes a picture with someone when their eyes are closed. Just doesn't work. See that? Ooh, it's
All
flashing.
right, let's give them a round of applause. How'd they do? How'd they do? Well, I gotta say, Andre, you were relentless. You weren't getting out of it, that's for sure. Let's hear from the audience. Rick, what did you think?
I think they had a lot of fun, different vignettes that they played back and forth to one another. And I like that give and take. And then they break apart and go in different directions. That's always fun to see that.
Always, always. Angela, what did you think? Oops, sorry, didn't mean to catch you at the last second.
No, I thought it was great. And I love the fact that props were used when the picture was actually taken.
That is true. Is that the only prop we saw? I think that was the only one. So kudos. Oh, no, BDC had his phone. All right. So Nick, we are ready for our polls. So here's what we're going to do. Would you like to explain it, sir, since you've got the polls ready to go?
I have the polls ready. I'm just going to take a couple of people off co-host so that they can vote as well. And okay, I'm going to go with the poll now. Question 1 is part 1. Out of these 6 groups, which one was the best? And then question 2, out of these 6 groups, which one was the best? And the third question is, would you like to have more of this? Yes, no, or not sure. You can start voting, folks. Can everybody see this?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant.
It just
By the
went
way,
away.
sorry, go ahead, Birgit.
No, it just went away from me. Oops.
For those of you in the United States, this is not a postal vote. Okay, so we've got 12, 13, 14 out of 25, 16, We're going to give it another 30 seconds or so. That's 18.
I live in Broward County. Can I vote more than once?
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah, but we've got to watch out for butterflies and hanging chads with you, though.
You have to be dead to vote twice.
It doesn't matter anyway. We've already taken the vote beforehand.
Oh, we have a tie in one of these. Look at that.
Keep going, folks. Last 4 people. Keep going. Come on.
At that point, it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
How many
Okay.
co-hosts do we have, Nick? Just you and me?
We have 3 co-hosts, Christian, yourself, and myself.
Okay, so we need one more person to vote. Trust me, we need one more. Whoever's not voted, they need to vote.
Please vote. Come on. One more
We
person.
have a tie in one group.
My vote would not submit. And I sent my votes to Christian.
Yeah, okay, have you answered all 3 questions?
Oh, oh, that. Okay.
We do everything in 3s in Toastmasters.
I pulled the slider down then there. and there it worked.
Okay, that breaks the tie. Lois, the results are ready on your screen.
All right, so we are going to have a playoff, or are we going to leave these 2 in and we're going to do it again? Christian, Nick, you guys decide.
We have time to do a playoff.
We have time to do a playoff?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So the playoff is, let's see, Graham and Andy with the wine. Congratulations. And we have Graham and BDC with the lift.
Well, that's a playoff, isn't it?
That is a playoff. Graham, you get to play twice. Here we go.
We have a winner.
We have a winner. Here we go. Ready? So let's start with Graham and Andy first. Let's get them. They're spotlighted. And Andy, let's get you spotlighted. All right, here it is. All the other parents let their kids see PG-13 movies. You just got to let me go. Let's play.
Are we playing the roles of the kids or the parents?
Well,
Whatever you want.
you want to be the kid or do you want to be the parent?
I'll be the kid.
All right. So look, I'm sorry, but no, you just can't go. I don't believe that the movie is appropriate for a 13-year-old. Sorry, Andy, but
Dad,
I know
everybody's going. Do you want me to be the only kid in my class that has not gone to this movie? Everyone will pick on me.
But if one of your friends said they were going to jump off a bridge, would you jump off the bridge with them? I mean, just because they're going to the movies doesn't mean that you should. After all, you don't do some of the things that your other kids do. You don't, for example, have a push bike. You know I won't let you have one of those. So why would you think that I'm going to let you go and see Star Wars Episode 37?
Well, because in Australia, they were the ones that came up with the bungee jump. So if all my friends are going off the bridge, it's because they're all connected to the bungee.
Ah, now here's something that you should take note of, young Andy. You do not get smart with your father because your father knows more than you. The bungee jumps were actually invented in New Zealand, not in Australia. So your heritage is not bungee jumping. Your heritage is being safe and being surrounded by the most dangerous animals in the world. There could be some of those animals in the theater. There's another reason why you shouldn't go to this movie, because it's dark and theaters are dark, unsafe places.
But I have a flashlight so I can see where I'm going, Dad. And I'll be with a group of people, a whole pack of people with flashlights. It'll be like points of light on a testimonial or tribute.
Yeah, I know. So you and your friends are going to go along and you're going to shine the lights at the screen at the worst possible moments. I know. You're probably going to get lollies or candies and you're going to roll them down the aisles just to make noise during the love scenes. I know, because I know what 13-year-old boys are like. I used to be a 13-year-old boy, and I'm not sure that I want my son growing up to do the sort of things that I used to do.
All righty, and at that one, let's give him a round of applause. We're running out of time, so we're not going to do an evaluation, but we are going to bring Graham up, and we are going to bring up BDC. Let's see if I can find BDC. BDC wave. Okay, I got Graham. Ah, there he is. Ready? Did you honestly think that a trail of breadcrumbs would help us find our way out of the forest and back to our house?
Of course. I mean, why would you think that breadcrumbs would not remain stationary in the forest?
We are in a forest. What else is in forests? Birds are in forests.
Birds can't eat breadcrumbs; they'll choke and die. I mean, that's basic fact. You go to
birds.
When you go to a wedding, people throw breadcrumbs out, right? They're throwing the breadcrumbs because they know that anything will eat the breadcrumbs.
No.
What are birds going to do with the breadcrumbs? Make a meatloaf? No, they have no need for breadcrumbs.
But the thing is, now we've got no way to get home other than to follow the bird droppings, and they're not in a straight line.
It's not my fault. It's not in a straight line. We left the bird food, the breadcrumbs in a straight line. Why are the birds eating and moving somewhere else when they poop? We should have a straight line. It should look like the middle of a road, leading us straight home. This is your fault.
But we should have used a piece of string that we took from the Minotaur's cave.
We don't have enough string. What do we use the string for? I mean, the string can be used for a lot of things. We could bungee jump with the string. We could take the string and tie up more birds to make a bird club or something and whirl it around. We can't get rid of the string.
We should have used the string to tie the birds together like they did with the balloons in Up, and then we could have floated out of here and we would have seen where we were. But
where
no,
are we going to get the balloons? Where are we going to get the balloons? You're one of these people who likes to throw out all these wonderful things, make all these wonderful promises. You should be a politician because you're not solving the problem. You're just creating evaporation out here so that people go and try to guess what they need to do.
But
okay, on that one, let's give them a round of applause. Nick, let's have our final poll here. So Graham, I think you're going to win no matter what, but we'll see which one took it from here.
Okay, very simple poll. Andy and Graham or Graham and BDC?
Oh, these are close. Literally tied.
22 of 25 have voted. Come on, last couple of people, 23. I want to leave it for another 7 seconds. 23. Elaine, have you voted? Okay, all done.
And the winner is Andy and Graham. Let's give it up. And it was only off by 1. I have to tell you, that's how close that was.
That's why I didn't vote.
Christian, where do we go from here? I leave it up to you.
Well, we are nearly at the end of the meeting, and we have a few guests. I suggest we hand over to the president so that for once he can close the meeting early on. Back to you, Liz.
Close the meeting early? What are you on? You've been having those gummy bears again, or gummy worms?
Oh, you saw that.
Thank you. Now let's just we're going to talk to some guests in a second, but let's just make some club announcements. I believe that Mr. Lewis Brown, you have an announcement.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. President. We have an open house coming up. It's going to be held on April 5th, our first meeting of April. So spread the word. We're going to do a little bit of marketing our end, but please share the word on your own social media feeds and so forth. Love to have as many people show up. Of course, other Toastmasters, since it is a Toastmaster related event, but looking forward to seeing you all there.
Thank you very much, Lewis. And of course, we will have things on the website, as you said, and members will receive something by email as well. Thank you for that. We have Elaine, who has an announcement.
I'm speaking on behalf of our treasurer, David Carr. It's time to renew memberships. We're still looking at those tallies every day, and we want more to be coming in. So members attending today who haven't yet renewed, come on, renew. And if you're catching the replay, come on, renew. If you're a guest and wants to join, come on, call Lou and tell him you want to join and what hoops we need to make you jump through so we can approve you.
Sorry, Elaine. Oh, sorry, what were you trying to say? Come on and renew. Okay,
Renew.
thank you.
Renew. It's renewal time.
Yeah, one of the really good things is that, you know, we have a large club, but we have nearly 50 of our members have already renewed, I believe, or there or thereabouts. So very well done. Just another 15 or 17 to go. That's all. But we're looking in great shape. Now, we have another announcement. Marianne. I love all these announcements, by the way.
I put it in the chat, but on March 22nd, we're having a contest and I'm the chief judge. I got some volunteers earlier, but if you can be a judge for that evening, send me a private chat to let me know because the judges are supposed to be anonymous. So I hope somebody else signs up. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Marianne. Now, in terms of the video speech contest, Christian, I'm going to actually make this announcement for you. We also need, so Christian is our contest chair. We also need a Zoom master. If you'd like to go for the role, please reach out to Christian. And so just have a go at it or talk to him about it. But there is a lot to do in that. And probably, Christian, I suggest you take 2. Okay? But anyway, we can work that out. Christian, as VPE, any other announcements? We have the video speech contest on the 22nd of March. What else is going on?
So about this video speech contest, if you haven't signed up and you want to test your mettle and speak to perform, please sign up. And remember, I will send out an email inviting you to confirm your participation by the Friday of, wait for it, 19th of March. So 19th of March would be the last date that you would be allowed to sign up because we need to get your documents signed and processed. In terms of contest, end of April, the last Monday of April, we're going to have the online webinar contest. Yes, also register for that because that's our in-house event that really defines online presenters. Back to you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Christian. But well, so first of all, the online speech, the video speech contest, where does that end up? And also, where does the webinar contest end up? Please enlighten us.
Sorry, do you mean end up?
End up. So the video speech contest, where does the winner go? Or where does the winner's video go?
Okay, very good question. And sorry, I blanked out on that. Well, I'm not sorry, because here's the thing. The video speech contest is going to be sent, the winner's video recording is going to be edited and sent to World Headquarters and submitted in the Toastmasters International Video Speech Contest for undistricted clubs, because online presenters, despite being advanced and the biggest club online, is qualified as unrestricted. That means if you get through, you will be showcased and you possibly will be eligible to be, hey, the winner there at the International Video Speech Contest. In terms of the online webinar contest, that's interesting because then you would go and participate on the VTMCon June 2021 event as representative of online presenters.
And Christian, as one of the co-chairs with Pamela Benjamin, would you like to share the link in the chat when you have a minute about VTM? And so people can actually have a look at that as well. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Just a couple of things about the speech contest, Christian. Christian meant that the winner's video will be cut out of the main video. We cannot edit the video. That's against the rules. So that's the first thing. But secondly, I believe we have some prizes for these contests, including for tonight. Lois, who gets what for tonight?
That's a great question. Well, the first thing was, out of the 25 people that were here, most of them, more than 90%, said that they would like to do a night at the Improv again. So Christian, are we going to schedule another one up?
Oh my goodness, madam. immediate past president, you're going to kill me, but I accept that because yes, we're going to have the next one in April. We'll confirm that date soon enough. And if you enjoy the one in April, we'll have one in May. And with the blessing of our president, possibly a finale in June with the winners going through.
Are we turning into an improv club? Is that what this is?
I will let my immediate past president reply to that question. Back to you, Lois.
What we are doing is stretching the imagination, and I think everybody had fun with this. They laughed, they had a good time. So we'll do one more, and as of right now, we know that when we get to the finale, Graham and Andy are absolutely going to be in the finale for the grand prize.
Okay, thank you, Lois. Thank you.
Welcome to Monday Night Live.
For the last few minutes, let's just say hello to a couple of guests. Let's see what the takeaways are. Laura Deanda. Laura, are you there?
I am here.
Hi.
That was so much fun. Thank you. I
Now,
enjoyed that.
Am I right in saying that you belong to a club that does improv? Is that right?
Yes, it's completely online, and it's the first online club chartered in District 5, where I am, which actually is the district of Helen Blanchard as well. And it meets for 1 hour from 11 a.m. to 12 noon Pacific Standard Time.
What day?
Improvicus. Did I mention the name? Improvicus.
Right. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you put some details into the chat? Okay.
I'd be happy to do
Fair
that.
enough. Well, what's your one takeaway today from today's meeting?
Just to have fun, be present, just go with the flow.
Excellent. Thank you, Laura. Thank you. Let's say hello to one or two of the other guests that we have. Nelsie, are you there? Okay.
Hey.
Hi. What's your takeaway from today's meeting?
I would say, yeah, the same thing. It was really fun to kind of go with the flow. I think is an important thing because sometimes we have something in our head, but the person you were doing the improv with might have taken it somewhere else. So kind of just following, leading, and also knowing how to follow is important.
Thank you very much, Nelsie. Thank you for your feedback. Let's say hello to Sharon Maloney. Also, Sharon, thank you for taking part today. What are you going to take away with you from our club?
Not to be so afraid to participate. It's actually fun.
Well, if it's not fun, why would we do it? Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. And thank you for being a good sport. I thought you did very well. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Manjit, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi. What is your takeaway? What did you enjoy about today's meeting?
I enjoyed that how all the participants were participating by taking the scene in hand, and I think I should also participate in that.
Hey, one thing I learned was when I joined this club, just jump in with both feet. It's okay. You win and you learn. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Now, if there are no other announcements, I'm going to actually just say thank you so much. Oh, actually, Elaine, VPPR newsletter. When is the next one out, please?
Well, I think I'll likely put it out after our next VTM-Con meeting. And if the executive board meeting is kind of around the same time, we're probably talking about a week and a half from now. And so there should be updates about VTM-Con. For any members who have, awards or special designations that are outside of just pathways acknowledgements, send an email to me so I can recognize you and we can all celebrate that. And yeah, about a week and a half.
Thank you very much. One thing I really like about that is one of our members was asking, how do I get hold of people to help me with my HPL, to be on my guidance committee? And that's hopefully one of the things that's going to be in the next newsletter. So, you know, things like that can happen.
Indeed, we can include help wanted for projects, for, you know, specialty needs for contests, for VTM Con, things like that. So you'll have updates, but if you have help, if you want help, send it to me so I can include it. And once again, the newsletter is up on the website all the time. It's under the tab called blog, and you can look at the recent newsletter or previous newsletters. And it's an easy way to recap important dates as well as celebrate your fellow members.
Thank you very much, Elaine. It's 9 o'clock Eastern. I believe it's time to stop having fun, but we're going to stop the video and then have fun afterwards. Thank you very much. See you next Monday.